inmates. Now, Helena Moreno is joining us by phone at this hour. It is 11:32. Helena, thanks so much for being with us.
Hey, good to be with you, Kate.
Yeah, what can you tell us about what you know about how this happened and what's happening right now?
So I'll tell you this, and I'm actually in the downtown area right now, about to go into an event, and all through the neutral ground, we're seeing state police, other law enforcement agencies, going through, up and down the downtown area with their lights on. I saw Harbor Police as well. It looks like we've got some federal vehicles also involved. What I do know is that I am hearing that it appears at least one of the inmates is now in custody. Apparently that was a state police apprehension done. I don't want to say exactly where it was or where they've been investigating, but it is downtown French Quarter area. And so at least one of the inmates is in custody. Overall, though, Katie, what I will tell you, what seems to be the recurring theme just from the local law enforcement folks and the state law enforcement folks who I've talked to is that they feel like that they were not notified in a timely manner, that it's like that it took that when they were finding this out, that it seemed, kind of late in the game. And I can certainly tell you that I didn't find out about this until I started seeing, the breaking news reports from WWL-TV and others about what had happened. And, I was asking my staff, what's going on? Because I would have thought there had been some major, public notification or something. And we didn't see that level of notification. And from what I understand, there are state laws that mandate that certain level of immediate and urgent notification when something like this happens. And obviously, those are the things we'll look at down the road as to what potentially happened with notification. But right now, the key, and I'm certainly seeing it with the law enforcement presence all around the downtown area, the key piece right now that's being worked on is making sure that the rest of those inmates are caught very swiftly right now.
Yeah, I think there are going to be some significant questions asked about the notification, as you mentioned. If this happened, or if they first found out about this at 8:30 this morning, we're now 3 hours later. And so that is a significant amount of time that the public could have been the eyes and ears of the Orleans Sheriff's Office and the NOPD in trying to apprehend these people. So lots of questions there. Is this going to be a coordinated response moving forward?
From what I'm seeing, and obviously you're gonna hear from Chief Kirkpatrick in just a bit, but from what I'm understanding and what I'm seeing, that certainly this seems to be a coordinated effort, all hands on deck by law enforcement agencies to go and find these folks. Like I told you, I even saw Harbor Police going up and down the neutral ground downtown right now where I'm at on Canal Street. And so certainly that effort is a multi-agency coordinated effort to go and find these individuals. Helena,
do we have any idea what part of the jail these inmates may have escaped from?
I don't know. And there's also been questions about how intricate or coordinated this escape may have been. I'm no security expert, but obviously what I would say is that clearly these inmates saw some kind of loophole, some kind of, opening, some kind of security lapse, and they, no doubt about it, took advantage of it. And I think it's really interesting, bizarre as to why it took so long to realize that 11 people were gone.
Especially some of the most allegedly dangerous people in that facility. From what we're hearing, most of these people are being held waiting trial on murder charges or armed robbery charges, violent crimes.
And that's why I think it's so important, Katie, and I know you've been doing this, is to continue to remind the public that these individuals are potentially armed and dangerous, and no doubt about it, they'll do whatever they can to make sure that they're not apprehended. So anyone who potentially, sees any of these individuals, suspects that these individuals potentially could be in their area, in their neighborhood, or maybe that somebody's harboring these individuals, that it is incredibly important to call 911 and alert police. Now I'm seeing sheriff's deputies go up and down Canal Street as well, just FYI. But I think it's so important for anyone who may suspect that these individuals may be somewhere to alert police so that we can get these people off the street.
What are the chances that this wasn't a coordinated effort among these inmates? Do you think that they may have had help from the outside or even help from the inside? I think all those are questions that are going to be asked in the days to come.
Look, I have no clue. You know, obviously, I'm not in the sheriff's office. I don't know, but that is certainly something that that it's going to have to be looked into and investigated. But clearly, like I said before, these inmates saw that there was some significant security lapse that they could take advantage of, and whether that was individuals who could be, ultimately turned and be accomplices to the inmates, or whether it was just an infrastructure type of security lapse, or whether it was just a personnel security lapse. They saw it and they took advantage of it.
Are you concerned about how this is being handled? I mean, you mentioned the time delay in notifications. Should we be, as a general public, concerned about how this is being run?
Yeah, I mean, I'll say this, like that to me was kind of the most alarming piece. When I started obviously making calls to law enforcement and saying, hey, what's going on? Explain to me what's happening. What I kept hearing over and over again was like the how surprised our state and local agencies were of how long it took to notify them or how they found out. And so that piece is certainly, in my opinion, alarming, because if that notice could have gone out so much sooner, maybe these individuals would be in custody or not been able to get so far away. But the fact that it's 11 people were able to get out, that's unbelievable.
Yeah,
unbelievable.
Absolutely. And the fact that it took that long, like you said, for them to realize it is alarming at best. At the least, it's alarming, especially when you would assume that these inmates were being held on a more secure tier given the nature of their charges.
No doubt. Exactly. Due to the fact that they were violent offenders. Exactly.
I mean, if we think about 3 hours, 3 hours is across 2 states. I mean, you could be in Alabama by now, So I think that is concerning.
Yeah. Well, I'll say this. I mean, everything I'm hearing from NOPD, that they've been, nonstop looking for these individuals. And so I really do appreciate now the work of the NOPD and the work of state police working in collaboration with our law enforcement partners to find these folks. But once again, I think that some, feel like it just took too long to get that notification as to when it happened. I mean, if this apparently happened around 8:30, I think the earliest that some of our law enforcement folks were notified was like around 10. So that's like, wow.
That is
an hour and a half later.
That is disturbing. And I know that you're going to continue to ask those questions.
No doubt about it. And like I said, but priority right now has to be all hands on deck to find these individuals. So please, anyone out there who may know, a bit of information on where any one of these individuals could be, please call 911 and let the operators know on what what you see, so that police can follow up.
All right, Helena Moreno, thanks so much for being with us. We'll check back in with you as this continues to unfold. We appreciate it.